Hello, my internet peeps. This is Scott Rideshare. Welcome to my channel. Hello, how are you today? Everything going well? All right. The story I want to tell you today is really not that funny. But I wanted to share this with you and talk a little bit about it. So I'm driving in this area that is in Broward County that is kind of off the beaten path. Not that it's a bad neighborhood, don't misunderstand me. What I mean is that it's like set back, it's not, the main roads aren't there. You're not going to find it easily. That's the kind of neighborhood I'm talking about. And there's construction going on in and around the neighborhood. And residents in the neighborhood are not happy about the construction. I've been in and out of this neighborhood before, and they almost all complain about it. They're saying it doesn't make sense. Then there are rumors that from one or two of the residents that there was some local official who took some money to get this project passed. I don't know anything about that. And it's nothing that I voted for or nothing I can really do anything about, but that's the rumor about this construction in this area. This area also has in it a bridge going over a canal. And the bridge isn't the normal bridges that you see that go like this on the main roads that go from the mainland onto the intercoastal, the barrier island. Over the intercoastal. It's not like that, right? It's one of these bridges that go like this. It just swings this way, right? Really slow. And it's also small. It's tiny. If you put one Hummer going one way and another Hummer going the other way, they're not going to fit on this bridge. That's how tiny it is, okay? I always find it very interesting going over that bridge, only because I don't get to drive over a bridge like that very often. So it's something interesting to me. Anyway, we're in this neighborhood, right? And now for me to get to this resident, this lady, I didn't have to go over the bridge. I had to go like through the construction area. But to get where she wanted to go, we had to go through the construction area and over the bridge. So when she gets in the car, she starts telling me, left here, right here, go straight here, that kind of thing. Ignore the navigation system, and I'm okay with that. I can't tell you if I remember specifically whether I said to her, "Let me know if you have a preference," but it is something I try to get in. I mean, especially recently to locals, even tourists. I say, "Hey, listen, let me know if you have a preference." Most of them are tourists who go, I don't know where I am, so it's on you, dude. But some of them, they want to sit there and give me directions on where to go. So I just follow what they say. And she was being very direct, okay? She wasn't rude. She wasn't nasty. She was just direct. It was like, turn left here, turn right here, straight here. So as we're driving along, working our way around the construction and avoiding that bridge, she and I got to talking. And she was telling me like where she grew up in New York. It wasn't New York City, it was out in New York, but it was a fairly rich area of upstate New York. And she told me where she went to college, which is not really a college for poor people. She didn't mention a scholarship, so I'm assuming her parents, paid for it. And then she was telling me she just moved here from just outside of D.C. And the area just outside of D.C. what she was talking about, to my understanding, was a ritzy neighborhood. Now, I'm not saying she was rich. I'm saying probably upper middle class. It's very possible she had a maid her whole life. I don't think she had to ever really worry about food. Those nights where some of us have had to subsist on ramen pride for like days on end. I don't think she ever had to go through anything like that, okay, if you catch my drift. And she was telling me that she moved down here and she took 4 Ubers. And the 4 Ubers, uh, none of the guys knew how to speak English, and she was trying to tell them where to go, and they didn't want to listen to her. She was trying to tell them how to get around the construction and avoid the bridge, like she was doing with me, and they didn't want to listen to her. They wanted to follow the navigation system. She was saying possibly because they just didn't know the neighborhood. It's possible. I didn't know the neighborhood either, but I knew what she was talking about. I wanted to get around that construction myself and avoid that bridge. And I don't mind going these new little back road routes because, I don't know, they're kind of fun. It's adventurous. Traveling down a different road that I don't normally travel down. And a lot of times I can learn it by doing it a couple times. The first time I do it, I'm not going to remember it. But if I happen to go down the route a couple times, I'm like, okay, I remember this, And I'll know a new way to get around, which impresses people. So, I didn't mind doing this. And she was telling me that the other drivers didn't really speak English. They wanted to follow the navigation system. And, each one of them, she said, must have given her 1 star because after the 4th one, Uber deactivated her account. She said, Uber deactivated my account. And she said she didn't even know passengers had ratings, that they were rated. And I explained to her that, when it comes to Uber, I can't even accept the next ride until I rate the previous passenger. So anyway, we get all around and we get to the place and I drop her off. And I was kind of feeling bad for her because personally, I don't think she deserved to be rated 1 star. Enough where she got deactivated after 4 rides down in South Florida. So they must have given her 1 star each time. I've talked about ratings before. I don't think that they're necessarily... I like ratings. I like the fact that you have some recourse. Before when you either took the bus, or in some cases the train, or you took a cab, there was no recourse. There was no one to complain to. No complaint department. I used to joke around with some places that the complaint department is on the 5th floor of a 3rd-story building. It's on the 5th floor. Go take to the 5th floor. That's kind of what it felt like with cabs and bus drivers. There's no recourse. And I like the fact that there is some form of communication. I don't like the system as it is now because, you as a driver can get rated lower because, you get stuck in traffic. It's not really your fault. Like you're driving along and up ahead of you a couple blocks, a car cuts somebody else off, T-bones a car, and all of a sudden there's a traffic jam, and you as the driver get blamed for it. So stuff like that is not fair. I've also had passengers who, they're trying to get around the system, and they don't understand the system. And when I try to explain it to them, to try to get them to do what they're supposed to do, they refuse. And I can tell you, I have been burned. I picked up these 2 young ladies last year, spring break, and they said they didn't know where to go, so they wanted to go to somewhere where the action was, and they didn't know where it was, so they just put down any old address. So I said, all right, I'll take you somewhere. I was green, I didn't know what I was doing, and I took them down there, and I got a 0 on for pay, and I sent that into Uber, and I'm like, hey, look, I took them from here to here, and there's a screenshot of where it says I picked them up and where it says I dropped them off, and they came back to me and said the rider was saying this ride was canceled, and they put resolved, and there was no recourse for that for me, even though it said, look, I drove so many miles, it took me so long, I picked them up at this address, dropped them off at this address, and it's my belief it's because in the app it said pick up here and drop off here, and I picked up here and dropped off over there. That's my belief. and it's not something I'm likely to do again in that kind of situation. I'll pull over and ask the person to update. If it's a situation where I get to a stop and the person says, "Oh, I can't get the correct address in the app," I'll just wait where I'm at, and when the 5 minutes is up, I'll hit the cancellation button and move on. That the rider no show. I mean, I'll tell them, "Can you update the address?" I've heard them say, "No, I can't." I'm like, "Well, why not? Why can't you update it? What's wrong?" It won't let me. How won't it let you? You know, you tap the button and you type the address in. What's saying it won't let you? I know the app lets you, so why are you telling me it won't let you? So now it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens every once in a while. And when something like that does happen, I have a tendency to think this person's trying to scam me. You know, drivers are not out here for charity work. Anyway, that's one of the reasons why I try to get them to do it the right way. And if they don't, if I have somebody in my car and they don't want to switch it the right way, I'll lower their ratings. Now I haven't in a long time, and it's probably because I've gotten better at explaining things to people, and I've gotten better at talking to them about it while I'm driving. So I haven't had to lower anyone's rating in a long time. People have always, changed and done what they were supposed to do. Pickups is a different story. I still have people saying, "Oh, the app won't let me change it to the right address." I'm like, "Okay, sure." Click, cancel, passenger no show. Anyway, if you like this story, please please subscribe, please hit that little bell next to the subscription box. It's a notification button that lets you know whenever I have new videos posted. All of these help the algorithm. Besides watching it, they like the views, but they also like to watch the likes, they like to watch the subscribes, they like to watch the bell notifications, and if there's commenting going on. So if you've had any kind of experiences like that, if what I'm saying reminds you of anything, go ahead and make a comment below. I get back to you as soon as I can, and I enjoy reading everyone's comments. I want to say thank you to everyone who has liked, subscribed, shared, hit the bell notification, and commented. I do appreciate you very much for doing it. Also, below the video is a description box, and in the description box there's some links. If you want to make some part-time cash, some extra part-time cash, you want to get rid of a bill, I think there's a great way to do it. You don't have a boss, you just go online when you go online, you drive when you want to drive, and you go offline when you go offline. And, it's fairly simple. Just go ahead and do it, and all of a sudden you got that bill paid off, or a vacation paid for before you even go on it. And also, I also recommend to people that if they look down below and they only have one of the apps, to go ahead and download the other app. Use the link down below to do it. And the reason why is because, number one, you get some cash, on your first ride. Depends on your market and which app you're downloading. But also, you can price compare. You can sit there and look at how much Uber's going to charge you, and look at how much Lyft is going to charge you for the same ride, and pick the one that's cheapest for you, so you get to save bucks all around that way. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a great day. This is Scott Rideshare.